especially considering that we don't know how long they've been practicing with Zest.
Well, here we go. Pistol round about number 1. Already seeing that Euro come out.
Yeah, immediately teleporting over to B.
Yep.
That was just off a bit of a peek into A main, but they might have pulled the trigger just a little too early there, because now they're starting DRX to take A control off the back of the Sova drone.
It looks like a bit of an A split just being set up. Obviously, Suchny just holding that angle, that position. This IGL who's come in as a new addition for BBL, hoping to bring the extra level, the next evolution for this team, because BBL full of talent.
Definitely. Recon Dart back online at possibly the perfect moment.
That's a great time for it. Yeah, the knife is going to get it suppressed going, moving forwards through the cloud burst, and that's going to be spotted. Beautiful little reveal there, and a lovely flash on top of it through the back. Still, it's going to be just the 2 for 2. Kusha into the back of the site, trying to lay claim, take out a couple of these players, but RB left standing. 140 health now, has spotted just the one player with a spot. Not in a great spot, flick of the wrist, you got to be joking.
What a way to announce yourself on the stage at lock-in. There with the Ghost.
Yeah.
What a Red Bull clutch.
RB, over the course of his career as well, has kind of just evolved into this bit of a flex player, honestly. Just fills in the gaps of whatever DRX need with their compositions.
Definitely true. And a player that's been under a lot of criticism prior to Champions.
The rest of his team, obviously, the breach as well.
And make the reads on where the play is going and whether he can rotate to bolster the defenses in time.
Yeah. Drone used on the corner there. Bit of space gain now, but remember, a bit of a weaker buy, just the eco. BBL, Brave is holding up close and personal. It's going to have to get a lot of work done, honestly, for them to stand a chance. 1 kill, but instantly traded.
Aslan not checked in this position,
though. Not checked at all. Look at him, still up close behind the box. An opportunity. Yeah, well, the angle's being held anyway. Did stop and deny that plant, and he's bought time for the rest of his team to come back in to this one. Stun as well in play. Buzz just has to back away again for but a moment, but just 2 players left standing. This point just going to be most likely playing X's or just trying to go down to that spike.
DRX very firmly in control of the beginning of this, but we have yet to see any of the crazy stuff that BBL have surely cooked up for some of these gun rounds.
That's what you think, right?
They must do.
I see this comp and it just gives me flashbacks to Paper X playing it on Bind, you know, something similar at least.
Well, the Paper X Yoru on Bind was very aggressive, very in your face, always forced you to react to it. I think that Pearl might be too big of a map to be able to run that kind of style. But I am intrigued to see what game plan he's got. It seems like, just from a theoretical point of view, you get...
See the beginning of this one now with the rifles in the hand of the BBL players. What can they cook up now? Nothing too out of the ordinary. You can see that gate crash is going all the way, slipping to the back of their spawn, over towards A.
And there's a turret here that'll take contact with Sochny maybe droning off it, certainly the nanoswarm popping so that they can halt the advance through art.
But just an exchange of that utility for now.
But Kushan has already read the play. I mean, they have 5 players able to respond to this A split if it does come through. And the Killjoy is giving them good utility through B link. Good information there. Turco knows that he doesn't have to be too worried.
Flash play comes down, wall dropped as well. Very similar to the prior round, the same play being made. Dash across. Buzz is, you know, deep within the site, but it is being covered again into the back of the side. The BBL players more than ready to hand it to them, but Marco, what is that? From the jaws of defeat, just pulls out 2 miraculous kills.
And not an expression on his face. I mean, just another day at the office for Marco.
Left down to 5 health, but he's bought his team a lifeline in this round with the 2 of them alive. Going to be rotating all the way back. Now over towards B.
And this is where things get sticky, and this is where DRX are starting to understand how BBL are playing, because with those, I guess you could say almost a 5-player stack over on A, as the hit came through, they realize that B is just completely open and that they can go back here. And this almost looks like a save round for BBL, but I think they'll give it a good college try. See if they can find a pick early on. But otherwise, it would be devastating to lose both of these rifles.
How do they want to play this one? Mako is close onto this corner. It's all about how you clear it. And that's a good covering fire. RB swings at the precise moment to set up that crossfire. Not giving any easy targets still. Players are low enough, but a pre-fire is going to reveal the positioning in the footsteps. Makes it more than clear for Mako to clean up. What a round by him. This guy, a true animal.
Superstar player for DRX in 2023 as well. He's just always there. I mean, look at the face. There's no reaction to these plays happening. They're all just expected. Yeah. He just is so cool, calm, and collected in every moment. And that's the bonus round converted for DRX. Even when BBL had a good read on the site hit coming through and crushed a lot of it, still not able to convert the round.
Stun pushing them back for just a moment, but yeah, the guns not too ideal on BBL's side. I want to see them cook up something special, honestly. Take a couple of risks now that you're running, you know, a bit of a weaker buy. Why not?
Do you want to see them use the Euro ult?
I'd love to see them try and cook something up. Seriously,
I'm not sure this is the round for it.
Maybe if an opportunity presents itself, but for now it's very passive play. Obviously looking to contain in mid, where that's where all their players are, pushing up with the drone as well. I wonder if that's going to be heard by RB, who was holding the flank. But just contact plays.
And DRX are getting some great information off of this. The fact that nobody's here, nobody's home.
Knife is good. Stun to try and disrupt that as a... Again, the back of Hawes was just being cleared out. You can see Stacks now going for the plant out in the open, facing away just in case a flash does come over the side. That Hawes control going to be very important to hold on to. Buzz at a slight off angle now.
And it's a really open plant too. That's going to be interesting if they try that in the gun rounds as well. Wow. But the crossfires and the better weapons here are just going to be way too easy for DRX to clean up.
Yeah, very fast reactions from Buzz to be able to dodge that flash coming through. That is that Prime Gaming flawless.
And I'm wondering, Bren, whether DRX are now going to have a bit of a read that B is open and that they can just walk on in. Because you saw DRX, they had no resistance to be able to get in onto the site there. They planted in a really open spot where they can play post plants from all over the place. So do they try that again? And, crucially, does Kushner try to stop them? Because again, he wasn't there at the start.
Yeah, this time no breach stun to slow down these players, but there we go, okay.
Wow.
Dimensional drift going to be popped off here.
And that's just
aware of this, just getting some information, essentially just a human drone. Just seeing if you can spot out and using the ult for that information.
But the question from DRX is, where's he gone? Because he could have gate crashed over to A, or he could have gone to B. And look, that information is prompting a double push out of A. So now if DRX try to return back to the opposite side of the site, they're going to meet Sochny and Turco. And RB nearly did.
Yeah, good discipline though, not to bite off a little bit too much there. RB didn't recontest the fight.
But now it's the perfect response from DRX. They know that there's two players on the flank, max 3 people here, just shove it into B.
Oh, look at Kushner, he can't even stand still. There's a pull on one side, a dart on the other. Has to back away, and the pincer maneuver right there. Brave just cannot withstand it. Bit of a sour blind there by Kushner, but still claims the kill, not before being traded out, and the spike will go down without too much trouble.
3-player retake here, and Stacks' position given away, brings it into a 3v3.
Yeah, ball going up now. They want to be playing this one quite quickly. Bit of a tap of the spike, trying to force good fights out of it. Again, winning a couple of them still. Just down to the 1 player though. Sochny, and he's given the 1 angle, down to that 1v1. RB holding his ground, a quick tap once more, trying to force the fight.
This is so hard.
Information gathered, information gained. RB must just be able to see that he's not on it, and wow, just waiting for the star to come online. Not winnable. Time has to be played, have to save the rifle.
An absolutely checkmated position for Sochny to play. RB's almost unkillable, dancing up and down on that elevation, but he always gets to see whether or not.
You know, rumors swirling around this team about what roster they might be running in the primary lineup. Looks like they have not missed a step, have not missed a beat. I'm surprised by how much DRX are actually committing as well to this. All 5 of their players just through main. And inside these smokes, that's where Brave wants to try and play to get some value. The 1 kill found, tries to pick up the rifle to recover at least a portion of the round, but ultimately is going to be falling now.
And the pit invested as well. That is so much respect.
Okay, I mean, committing this Hunter's Fury cuts across. I think a little bit of damage done potentially, but not even that. I think just the reveal prior from his dart that was sent flying. Investing into this round when economy's not quite ideal. It's Kushner who does have that rifle, seeing what he can do, but look at it. DRX with the utility, the nade comes down. And probably got a few more pieces to work with as well. Mako up close and personal. Spraying all over the bloody place. With the Phantom, quick tap. Really not much to be done.
And look how well thought out that post plan was. They have the Viper's Pit on top of it, but they're spamming Hull on the spike, but the pull doesn't have to be used until late. RB's going to be in the perfect position for them to drop the pit and come from an unexpected angle. There's so many layers to this, and it's so difficult for BBL to deal with it on the fly.
Showcasing a lot of just quirky ideas, something set that is going to be throwing your opponents off, but...
Nice shock dart.
Yeah, it's an interesting one actually. Clears that utility that's going to be used. The double doors now forces, honestly.
Look at this aggressive gate crash.
This is nice though. Aftershock onto the corner. Buzz has just found the angle, and here it is. Yeah. Gate crash forward, still holding that forward angle. A deeper position. It's going to be remaining for but a moment, but finally TPing back to safety.
And that's about the first value that we've seen Kushner really get. Outside of stacking the correct sites, which has never really worked. Goes for an aggressive play there, and it pays off. So how did DRX work in 4v4s?
And what's their answer going to be?
They have broken the Killjoy turret that was over here. So Stax is getting a lot of space to set up for an A-split. And the KO wall is devastatingly good against Brave.
Yeah, this is going to be brutal for him to try and anchor. Smokes drop down all over the side to try and split this one up into the art. Split straight through main. The utility's just a little bit too late. Still, Brave gets the one kill, and luckily and crucially, he will survive. So backing away to wait for the rest of his team.
Huge play inside his own smoke to avoid the flashes.
We see the lockdown being used with Zest going down. Are we going to have any other answers for it? And taking point, Kushner wraps up the round quite nicely.
Fantastic first round to get on the board there from BBL. It cost them a lot, but it was worthwhile. And while Kushner gets 3 kills in the round, I've got to give credit to Brave for his anchoring. To be able to get that first pick and hold on to the back side control so that the rest of his team could come in for a retake, get the lockdown in a good spot. That's really important for an Astra that was potentially about to get hit by a KO ult.
Yeah. Really critical, and sometimes that first round can be the hardest one.
Open up a site completely. You see Aslam Shadow change around his Killjoy setup. Still the alarm bot in the same place that got shock darted before, but now putting more of a focus towards B.
Drone pushes forwards. Look at this. Nothing to really offset it. They know that there's not going to be that heavy presence towards playing aggressively into B to try and contest it. Flash perfectly timed with Buzz's updraft as well to see if they can catch it onto any sort of player. Right around the corner, that's Kushner! He's making all sorts of plays. The gate crash around the side. And he's dealt with, but too little too late, honestly. 2 kills found for him.
Great kill as well from Sochny.
Beautiful.
To shut down the lurk, and BBL. 2 rounds in a row, an aggressive play from Kushner.
Yeah.
He bumps in scrims.
Yeah. Get the fear into people.
Here he comes. I mean, bit of a whiff, honestly, from Zest. Should be favored there, but Kushner's kind of full sprinting to the left.
I think you're starting to see really where the success comes from in these last 2 rounds. It's been off the back of those plays being cooked up with Kushner.
And I'm surprised by this. Buzz taking an attack operator. So maybe aiming to slow the pace down a lot and just hold angles on B. I wouldn't expect them to finish A with an op in their hands unless they're forced.
Just trying to set this one up, but it's a difficult one. The drone did clear quite a bit down B long, so it sets up Buzz on this angle, but they don't quite know if back halls is cleared. All right, that was actually a contact play. Despite the stun missing, Aslan still has the confidence to take the fight.
That's Turkish confidence right there.
Oh, yeah.
The Turkish players are always high skill, high confidence, and Buzz was backpedaling as he took the shot, really inaccurate. And now they are forced to go A, but they also don't have the op.
It's a cute little idea from BBL as well, just off that turret contact, but...
Look at where Brave is hiding here. Does he get cleared?
Abi has been late lurking this one. Zest is at back and just walks into the line of sight angle.
Vandal diff.
Yeah. Finding Securing the target, still Kushner TPing back. Stax is there to try and take up a bit of this space onto the site. Another pop flash play. And you're seeing this guy just rip off heads. Unreal form by Kushner.
And the breach ult used in the 2v1. RB is not allowed to get a sniff, not a crumb.
Now 1v2, no time remaining. And all Turco has to do is swing off the contact of Kushner. Should make it nice and easy. Lovely little offset and a movement there by Kushner. Finding 4 kills in the round. Off the individual play.
Yeah, now sat at 13 and 7. He's torn open some of these defaults. And I think sometimes that's one of the best ways to play against DRX, is throw them a curveball, try and throw something strange at them as they're setting up.
If you can disrupt their timings, it's those big utility executes that could be so scary that you take the bite out of it.
And how about this? Bike taken out completely from DRX's economy. They're forced down onto a Thrifty.
Definitely weaker weapons, but still a couple of rifles to make themselves just a bit more dangerous.
Uh-oh.
And okay, well, Dimensional Drift got a bit of that information, has to back away, cannot take the fight.
And BBL have just been barreled over.
Yeah, unable to withstand it.
Yeah, Socially and Turco was supposed to delay there and put up resistance so that Kushner could get around and make a play happen. But it all fell to pieces.
This double flank now needs to try and get some value.
Everybody from DRX is here. Everybody, all 5 players.
And they're watching it, they are. A bit of a pre-fire. Do they anticipate it? They do!
Where's the traders?
Just falling, not quite a trade, but Buzz eventually is there. He's like, all right, guys, I'll take care of him, no problems. Kushner wondering exactly how he should be playing this one.
But he will not expect everyone to be offside. You know, he still has to clear these areas, fake the gate crash.
Time is running so low. The flash, I think, for his own, or Stax is just finding his face, and yeah, not quite able to really play this one out, just not enough time to work with.
And that round had failed within the first 5 seconds, honestly. It was a decent try from BBL to get back into things with the double retake flank, and a brutal one for BBL, because that's where you're supposed to be favored. You've got the guns, you've knocked your opponents down onto a half buy. Yeah. You've got to be able to convert those.
The ones you need to be winning. What?
They should just be going at it 1v1.
Zest, let's see if he gets value out of this again with a shock dart. I mean, it's just been almost every round, I feel like, just as
yeah, Aslan definitely needs to change that up. Also, Aslan's nanoswarm that he's putting on site is not where DRX are planting. Even if he did put it there, though, Zest has actually been shocking the plant position every time. So, you know, just layers of DRX being prepared for everything.
Yeah, making sure it's definitely going to be catching them unaware. But it is going to be 3 players holding from the BBL side, including Kushner at the back of Halls. Maybe another contact play in the works as well, maybe off the turret, because you can see Turco is in position, doesn't quite have the stun leveled, has to watch the extremity because of that alarm bot being destroyed at the beginning. But there we go, a fast play, flashing to the back of Halls, and Kushner, he was the target and he has been found.
4v3 for DRX, but they have Pit online. This is again going to be really difficult. The pull, great there actually from Brave. It denies the plant going down and might offer them a chance at spamming into this pit. Can anyone stop Stax again?
That's what it's going to come down to, isn't it? A bit of a random spam. They found the one target that matters. Mako falls, and so does the pit. Any sort of hopes of potentially using that as coverage, it's all down to Buzz, isn't it, at the back to try and buy time and hold on.
That was a comical double take.
BBL need to clear Buzz out of this angle. RB, big weight on his shoulders to try and bail him out. Tap onto the spike. Do they know nobody's on this one now? Just biding their time back and forth. The dash as well into safety.
So horrible for Turco. He's just been played with.
Yeah, just nigh impossible to win.
It's like a cat with a mouse. It is just heart-wrenching to watch. There was no way that Turco was going to be able to win that one. With a player behind and a player in front, and neither of them wanting to face him, just threatening, teasing.
You know, just offloading a utility into a lot of these sites.
There is no alarm bot for the shock dart to hit this time, but it did a bit of damage to Brave, so he wasn't quite aware that the shock was coming through. Nevertheless, Brave might not be expected right here. I think that smoke could have given it away, though. It's certainly given the game away now.
War bangable there, but does get out with his life. Drone just going to be used to clear through to one side of mid. Well, look at this, DRX making sure that they also hold positioning here towards, Buzz. Operator in his hands. The attack operator coming out.
And BBL are lacking so much info.
And really just forced to swing into them, find these fights, because that's what they need, information. And guess what, that lurk timing pays off. Flash off to the corner, Buzz staying safe, beaming them down one after another.
What a play by Stax. BBL a bit too timid, didn't realize that Stax had already crossed because they weren't able to reclaim areas of art. Too many players over towards B-Link, and that's it, all sealed up. Only Kushner on the Yoru with an admirable 14 kills, but just not enough to get his team into this first half. And everybody on BBL has just got to be thinking about their attack side.
Yeah. Nothing to lose in this round for Kushner. He's going to try and make the most of it.
I mean, what a highlight this would be.
Yeah, if he manages to make this work.
The 1v4 clutch with players scattered all over. A KO ult to deal with.
And this is such a hard one to win, because Stax, look at this, he's got the heaven position held. A crossfire, RB playing close to the site, they know his position now, and a bit of util will finish it off. A 9-3 half for DRX. Looking cool, calm, and collected, and firmly in control. Certainly. Gonna have to see some big things from BBL, I think, on this attack side as well. Try and get the most out of Kushner on that Yoru. He's putting up some amazing results. Like we said, 14-9 is his scoreline, but it's going to take something very special,
True.
I think.
And we didn't really see too much cooked up on the defensive side. There was a set strat like that.
It's a fast play towards to take that A main control. Looks like the goal was to try and get as many of these orbs as well into Kushner, try and prioritize his ult.
Is the plan here for Kushner just to send the gate crash towards Flowers or something like that? You might be able to get into some absurdly unusual positions.
Careful here.
I think you have to be ready for it, honestly, if you are DRX. Now, listen, I haven't been following all the tips and tricks when it comes to Yoru, but typically, as long as you keep an eye, I think, towards spawn in some way, you should be ready for it. But that's not what they've got cooked up for now. It's a slow play, still holding on to that A main control. And it's a drone to try and fake some presence into the connector. There's not much else being pushed behind it, so DRX not really biting. In fact, Stack's going for a very fast play. It's a pop flash out of the smoke, one after the other. The crossfire connects with RB. Down to just two players left standing, a bit of run and gun in action, but ultimately doesn't do too much for them. DRX take their 10th round.
He wasn't in a position where he got hit by any of it, and the rest of the DRX players were very fast to punish the rest of BBL who were trying to get in through the choke. So clean at dealing with it. And there was no plan, not really many kills, so BBL can't really even get in a good position to force this. It's just going to be a terrifying 11th round on the board in all likelihood for DRX. And I feel like, Brent, after their third place result at Champions, this team has got a swagger about them. I don't know whether you noticed it as well, but just hearing them talk in the interviews beforehand and how they're discussing their team and their chances and stuff, there definitely seems to be more of that swagger of, we know we're a top team. Oh, and Stax just followed the gate crash all the way.
Exactly, what we were talking about. The gate crash is going into spawn. If you're aware of the play being made, there needs to be some sort of follow-up, but Stax was just tracking it down, waiting for it. But
yeah, Kushner hoping that he just got through there for free.
It's DRX playing with a ton of confidence behind them. Incredibly consistent team, and they're a team as well that, you know, the evolution that BBL are hoping to go for, I think, with the addition of their new IGL, adding a couple of more layers to their game plans. Unfortunately, had to go up against this absolute masterclass team that is DRX. Obviously, the series not over by any stretch of the imagination, but definitely a rough one as far as first round matchups go here at the lock-in tournament.
Definitely very rough. But there's a long time before this BBL team has to, you know, compete in the EMEA VCT, so it's about going as deep as you can in watching the Gordon Ramsay shows, cooking stuff up. They gotta be. The recipe book is in their hands.
You gotta cook something up special, but it looks like all 5 players moving forwards. That's drone taken out nice and early. Buzz taking a tremendous amount of chip damage, just has to back away and does have the shorty available to him. This corner isn't cleared. It's a flash play, and Buzz I don't know how much he could see in that scenario, but picks up the rifle. Revealed along B long. They've taken so much damage. Exchange of the weaponry because Buzz is the weaker player. They have all their players watching these angles.
Just read it so hard.
Here.
The flash was perfect as well, but
Yeah.
you can't exactly miss with a shorty at that kind of range.
Now just trying to take this fight. Flash is sent through to utility. What should have been a must-win round for BBL is looking
It's looking like a save, to be honest here, Bren. You're 3v5. You don't want to give better rifles to them. I know you can't really call that in the moment. You've got to believe in yourself, but this is going to be a disaster for BBL here.
Yeah. Brave spotted out, a bit of tag there, 9 health. Left alone. Has the most to do, and just as he runs out of bullets, the trade in play. DRX entering now map point.
Watered like this by DRX at the beginning of tournaments. They just always come in so incredibly hot. And yeah, look at that. Full blind. Absolutely full blind from Buzz. And still getting the kill. And Kushner was not happy about that one in the slightest.
That's a hard one. It's got to be everything invested now if you are BBL.
But it's scraps.
Certainly is. They managed to scramble that rifle in the hands of Kushner, so not too bad. Taking out A main control.
One away now from ult Kushner. If he can try to cook something up on the fly, that would be impressive.
This angle that Stacks is jiggling can be punished, honestly. If you are on the attack side, you can swing this from a high and low angle, but he's going to be jiggling it. That is really rough timing there with the utility in his hands, but exactly what BBL needed.
That was nearly an incredible counterplay, though, from Mako and Zest. Mako inside his own smoke at the same time as Zest threw the recon dart, but he chose not to pull the trigger.
Where is that orb going? I mean, just layers to this. Drop it down. Not too sure. BBL's answer, though, in the midst of all of this now, entering the mid-round.
They're droning from so far away because they have no info. Does Buzz have the confidence to get back on the angle?
That's unbelievable.
Of course he does.
Star player taken out. It fills curtains. A nice stun to punish this one. Buzz in an awkward scenario, an awkward position, but it needs to be a bit more behind it. A double push through with the flashes in play. Really, Turco, what can you do? Has to link up with the rest of his team now. Later look through, lovely flash. Buzz does get taken care of, but time is running low now. 12 seconds remaining. And a must-win round for them to stay in the map. Aslan holding down one of the angles. 5 seconds remaining, down to that 1v1. And the pull, surely this is not the way it ends. Out in the open, and the wide swing from RB will finalize it.